Today, we are going to actually walk step by step what Adnan did with his first clients, how he got his first client without cold calling or any ads. We're going to talk about exactly the demo and close that he used with email screenshots. He's going to generously show you exactly what he did and what he sent. We're going to talk about what happened after the client said yes and what you need to do, and the easy part where you don't really have to do much and how you can replicate that in the next 30 days. What we are not going to talk about is how to build chatbots from scratch, because we can do that for you if you don't want to. We're not going to talk about any coding or API or any technical setups, and we are not going to talk theory. This is all going to be 100% tactical, so you guys can take that and apply it in the next 30 days and turn chatbots into cash for yourselves as well. So let's get started with Adnan. How you doing?
Hi, Eva. Thank you very much for the invite. Yes, I'm doing well. I hope you too.
Wonderful. So excited to have you here. I'm so grateful that you are so generous with your knowledge and your experience and are willing to share everything with everyone here. And I think I shared this with you before, but the reason why I'm so passionate about these guys is because I keep seeing so many articles about people losing their jobs to AI, or not making enough money from their gig jobs, or losing Uber, or can't pay the bills. And there's such an easy way for everyone right now to monetize this and get another stream of income, or completely replace their income with AI. And it's super easy. There is work. It's not passive. You actually have to do some stuff and talk to people. But if you are service oriented, and if you actually want to help people, this might be one of the easiest ways for you to do that. Adnan, take me back 30 days ago when you first started. What was your situation? What were you doing?
I'm a digital marketing consultant, have been now for a year, actually just about 12 months in now. And basically, I was looking for some tools to see how I can better support my customers. As of course, I have many e-commerce clients, so it's always about support being a big topic and how we can cover it. There's not enough people, what to do if someone falls out, how to capture customers on site before they leave the page. So basically, that's how I stumbled across Noem, to see that I was looking for an AI software, of course, obviously. And I'm not a programmer. I don't code. I don't have an IT background. I have a digital marketing background. So I have an understanding of how code, etc. works, but I'm not the one who sits down and writes code and does machine learning. So it was more about understanding how I can use AI in order to solve that issue without having code experience. And yeah, basically just saw you talking on a couple of YouTube videos, then just followed up and checked out the details, and then started the demo account to see what it does. And I was really surprised. In literally less than 5 minutes, I had my first chatbot up and running, and was heads up. So yeah, heads off for that one. Really amazing what your tool does. And yeah, that's when it all clicked, and I started pitching it to my clients. Yeah.
So you are a digital marketing agency and you're helping people with websites, building websites, email lists.
Optimizing the digital marketing strategy and channels. So it's not about just building websites, it's more about how to leverage digital marketing in order to optimize and improve your business and create the right revenue streams, and making sure you reach your audience. Yeah.
And you've never sold AI before, AI services before.
No, I didn't. No.
So what made you think, oh, I should try this? Because you're an expert in one field and now you're like, oh, I should try this one too.
Yeah, obviously you can't turn around without the two letters of AI running somewhere around you. So it was more about understanding, being in digital marketing, AI is a big tool. So just like you mentioned right now, saying that people are losing their jobs in different areas, it's actually similar in my field, that AI is starting to, of course, substitute human resources, especially in the digital marketing area space. And there's a lot of communication around that, as you mentioned. So it was more about understanding, so is AI in my sense replacing me, or is it something that is enhancing me? So I went for the second option, and then tried to understand, okay, where can we go with that? And basically went from there. Thought, okay, how can I implement AI software in my business to make it work with me instead against me? Yeah.
I love it. So if you're watching us right now, consider this. Most of you are probably like Adnan, right? You haven't used code, you're not a coder, you have some kind of a service where you're helping people and you're realizing I need to either get with the flow, get with the game, or I'm gonna lose everything. And then he took action and found the tool that works for him, in this case, Gnome. So walk me through, what did that look like? What made you think that Gnome would be a good fit to what you're looking for?
It was the description of the ease of use and the integration of AI. So if you know your way around prompting and some general description and have some sales background. So I have a retail marketing background, so I know how to talk to customers and train people basically and promoters. And that's what actually sounded interesting for me, because obviously I have been working with AI, and it was exactly that part of, you don't need to know how to code, but more how to sell or how to explain more, and the selling part comes with the tool. So that was what sort of convinced me to give it a try. And as I mentioned, I saw you also present it in a couple of demos, so I thought that looks interesting. It was exactly that, just playing around with the URL of the shop, just putting it in there and let the magic work, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
And it can't be that easy. You put a URL and then you got it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was literally surprising what happened then. I have to. That's why I said it was literally magic to say what it did. So, yeah, definitely.
So let's switch to your first prospect. You are an agency, so you had clients. You're looking through your clients. What made you think, oh, that's going to be the right person to approach?
So yeah, my first client has a web shop. So he has an online shop, and we were basically discussing a couple of weeks before I went for that tool, that he just started his business at the beginning of this year. We were all discussing and moving into peak season with the Christmas period, how to best optimize and generate sales during that period and make sure how we can cover as much of the client traffic that comes in, because he's a solopreneur, so he's a single person running his own business, and it won't be possible for him to be very active as well. So we knew that it needs to be some sort of something around customer service, because he also has products that need some explanation. So he gets a lot of traffic with people asking, okay, how does it work? What's the difference? And these kind of questions. So that's what made me think then that maybe one thing would be to have some sort of chatbot opportunity. He currently had a chatbot in the sense of this generic automated FAQ. So there are a couple questions with predefined answers, and at one point it then says, okay, you can send an email. So he was getting a lot of emails basically because the FAQs wasn't answering enough. So that's what made me think. And then I stumbled across Noem and said that would be an option. If we manage to train it in that direction, we know what questions are coming in, we know what people are asking, so we can take that and basically use it to pre-train it as a knowledge. And that basically convinced him to see it as an upgrade to his current chatbot option.
I love this. So, guys, let me summarize what just happened. This is not a cold prospect. This is someone that Adnan actually knew had a pain point. He had a relationship with before, and he knew exactly what will solve the pain point. He knew Christmas is coming, he's getting a lot of emails, and he's a solopreneur who needs to handle all that stuff. So he basically came in with a solution of, okay, here's how we can upgrade that experience. You probably have right now in your phone, in your agency, in your network, people just like that are complaining about things, that are getting ready for the holidays, that are struggling to keep up with support tickets coming in, or emails coming in, or calls coming in. And this can be a solution that you can offer. Now, you don't have to know how to build it. We're going to get to that in a second. But the process is very simple. You recognize someone that you know with the problem, and you go, hey, here's how I can help. And so how did you show your client that you can actually help him, especially if he jaded by chatbot and thinking, oh, all chatbots are just glorified FAQ pages. I don't need another chatbot.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because we don't live in the same country. So I have clients in different regions and markets. Basically, just went via email and WhatsApp chat to say that I found the software, it's very interesting, and it's something that can help us. I shared the demo with him in the sense of some screenshots asking those typical questions and showing that actually the Noem bot was answering the question that I asked him to answer with the knowledge I shared. And he really liked it and said that would be a great support for him during the season. And then we said we will basically then trial it in November and to have some pre-testing to be ready for the main season then.
So let's give you some background. The client that Adnan was helping is luxury watch seller, right? And
Yeah.
he's using Shopify. And
Yes.
Adnan and I were working on how to get the instructions to show the Shopify store before Adnan had any access to the store. So we were able to do that with Noem simply by bringing in the URL of Shopify that showcases all the products. So let's talk about that part a little bit. Like, how difficult or easy was it to connect Gnome and get the instructions and showcase that it actually can help the owner?
Yeah, absolutely. And have to really underline here the great support that I received from you, Aoife, to make this work. So thanks a lot for that. Definitely appreciated this. That was actually the cool thing because just like you mentioned, I've been working with the shop before in the sense of providing analytical setup support and the marketing support, but not on a code basis. So I did not have back end access in that sense. The starting point was just to play around with the URL. Then the chatbot knew, okay, that's the shop and that these are the products. Then I reached out to you to see if that makes sense. So you helped me to improve a bit of the description. That was really supportive. And the second point was then to my question was, okay, how can I test it without having access to testing it? Then you kindly shared this early access to the Chrome extension, which allowed me to basically place it on the shop without being the shop owner. So that was like, wow, that's what I meant with the magic. And then it just popped up. I could play around live on the shop, create the screenshots, and then share it. So he already had an idea of how it would look and feel without actually us having to ask any coder or put anything in there. And it really showed that it really works well with Shopify. So that was a great start. Less than an hour I had actually worked out how to make it work and
I love
show
it.
it. Yeah.
I love it. Why? It doesn't have to be complicated, guys. It can be like super simple. Let's show some of the screenshot if you don't mind. Actually show
Sure.
the emails that you sent and walk us through what made you think, okay, this is what I need to send him. This is how I open it. This is how I position it.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. A minute to have to reopen the emails.
And while you're doing that, guys, think about this. Restaurants, med spas, real estate, all the property questions, all the menu questions, all the what product is good for me, all the Shopify owners, exactly what Adnan is showing you right now. All these guys are having the same exact issue that a simple, a very sophisticated chatbot that doesn't require any coding can solve. The only thing that you need really is to frame it as a solution to the problem, which means I understand your problem, I understand what you're struggling with, and here's a simple way that I can help you solve it.
So just sharing my screen now. Yeah, here you can basically see that these were the screenshots that I created and just put it across basically here, showing that it was answering questions and also giving the details of the product. That's basically what I shared with him. And after that, we basically were just discussing, okay, that's how it looks. We can put in some naming, some details, do a quick demo. And that's basically convinced him to say, okay, let's go for it. Yeah. So I didn't do any live demo or anything. It was basically just these screenshots. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And what you put above that is I just started this just a little bit, right? The text, how did you position it?
Yeah, basically we were just talking about something else as well. So I was just telling him that have this customer service chatbot system, which works really great with Shopify. And just told him I ran this demo, and then we can just work out the details and see how we can make it work, yeah, as a pilot.
What's beautiful about these guys, he didn't spend days even building this. He only spent like a few hours getting the basics done so that his client can visually see what he might be getting and say, hey, if you want the rest of it, I will build it for you. Let's talk about me completing the entire project for you. And your
Yeah.
client came back with, sure thing, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was just maybe two or three chats with you and then just playing around and then writing the email, basically. Yeah.
So this is what I call demo and close. You are putting in the URL of the company, of the person that you want to pitch into Gnome after they said they want to have a meeting with you. Adnan did it differently because he already has a client that he knows he can solve the problem for. So he already built that and then just said, hey, it's 30% there. Do you want me to finish it? Take it all the way all the way home? And the client was like, sure, because he can see exactly what it's going to do for his business. It's really as simple as that. It's as simple as finding the client that has a problem, asking them if they want a solution, and then spending a few hours building a basic chatbot to showcase how that's going to work, and then getting paid to take it all the way there. So what happened after you closed the deal?
Basically, then I just went into testing. So we just said then, just basically just discussed how it worked, how much time I would need to set it up. I followed up with you to say, okay, how does it work? And we just agreed on the timing, like I said, to start from mid-November to have the trial run then.
Were
And
there
be
any price objections, or how did you come up with the price?
No, actually, that's also that what I discussed with you. Basically, just to understand, you helped me with this chatbot calculator to understand where it could land, and so we agreed on the pricing of €1,000 to for the installation and implementation, and the running costs we basically then will calculate within the pilot period then to see how much traffic comes in. Yeah.
Were there any questions about, hey, why does it cost this much? Or I don't understand why it's €1,000, let's make it for less, or...
Actually, no, actually, he was pretty straightforward. He was like, okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. And he saw what it can do and that he has the support from my end. So it's not like just it's done and closed and moved on. And just like you mentioned with the demo and close idea of from your side, basically already sold a second one exactly with the same process. Yeah. So
I love it.
it works. Yeah.
So Adnan got his first client, got the first test, so that it's not that bad. It's actually very easy. And now he has a second client that in the works. In terms of your marketing agency and the clients, is that an additional income stream, or is that going to an additional service that you're adding to the agency? How do you see that fitting in?
It definitely is an enhancement, like I mentioned in the beginning, that shows how AI can fit into a business instead of just saying it's replacing everything you've done so far. So it's really about seeing, and that's what I do. It's about understanding the client, what are their needs, what do they really require. And honestly speaking, service is a big pain point for any retail business, regardless of online or offline. And then having the option to not just having a predefined FAQ answer machine, basically, well, like when you call it, it's a hit one if that's the question. So it's really about you, it really understands you. It's like it knows the data. And in a couple of demos, you also showed that it actually recommends products. So it's not just about make it answer a question. And I think for me, the turning point was in a conversation with you where I realized that until I stumbled across Noem, chatbots was always like customer service focused. So it was like you have a problem and you put in the chatbot because you don't have time to answer it. So you put a machine there to answer it. But actually, with Noem, it's a different way because it's not the classical customer bot, service bot, but it's actually a sales promoter. So that was my learning that when I understood that was a turning point that so far whenever I was thinking about chatbots and how they work, and even when I was writing the description, it was more about try to understand the customer and solve his issue. But then when you helped me in rearranging the definition, then I understood it's more about understanding the need of the customer and making him find the right product or service that you're providing. And exactly what I would do if I was training a sales staff in my shop. So that was the interesting part because so far, whenever I see chatbot pages or other options, they always talk about the time saving in customer service, but not about you getting actually a sales rep into your online shop, which is not the usual way.
Yeah, you're right. Most people think about chatbots like a basic FAQ, right? Like a glorified FAQ. You put a question and there's like logic trees and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We're thinking about chatbots completely different. And I don't know if there's a better name for chatbot, like what Gnome does. Because it's not that. It's not just a basic FAQ. It's actually your sales appointment, your virtual coach, your salesperson, your customer support, all roll into one. So someone can come in and ask your chatbot a question about, hey, I want a refund. And we've already seen our chatbot turn that refund into an upsell and suggest different products because they understand the client and what they need, and now they know what to offer them. And what's beautiful about this is that you don't have to be a programmer, like you just saw. You just have to know how to edit a document. If you know how to edit a document, you can basically create a chatbot. That's how hard it is. So if someone is thinking about doing this and they're feeling unqualified, what would you tell them? What was your biggest fear before you started?
My biggest fear was that I still would end up having to code, but I can confirm I didn't have to. So if you have spent a couple of hours with anything like ChatGPT or Gemini or anything in that sort of area, that's it actually. The starting point is really great because just by entering the URL, it already sucks out the details of the page or the shop that you want to do. So you already have a good starting base without actually having to provide a starting base. So that's good. So you get an understanding because you get an understanding how Gnome's understanding the business that you want to build the chatbot for. So you have an idea, okay, how is the AI seeing what I'm doing or what I want to sell? And then there's already great templates already available. So again, you're not starting from scratch. So you can already just see by entering the URL and activating a template what happens. And then it's just like you told me, it's just about trial and error, just playing around, asking tougher questions and see what happens, and then adjusting on the way.
You also set up a monthly fee, a monthly retainer. So first of all, how did you pitch a monthly retainer? And then what comes with the monthly retainer?
So basically, I pitched it that the monthly retainer is based on the traffic that is required for the chatbot to answer. So you can decide if you want to buy a bulk and to say, okay, that I want to have this many impressions covered or this many questions covered, or we just go by months, by monthly rate and see how it works. So we went for option 2 at the moment just to see how it plays in and then to see if we can identify seasonality and just then in order to keep it running you need to have this retainer to cover the running costs of the AI working for you as it's the token based system from AI. Yeah, so that was very clear. Yeah.
Did you include in it like you looking over the conversation? Are you making any changes or are you adding promotions or anything that needs to happen as you learn more how people interact with it?
Yeah, that was basically more in my section. That's what I said. So that's one part is of course the AI cost coverage for the bot, and secondly to make sure that if any, let's say, man hours from my side is required to cover and to see any analysis and reporting to make sure that it's still doing the right thing. Yeah.
For those of you who are watching us right now, there are 5 ways that you can monetize this. The first one, basic setup fee, €1,000, great start, right? The second one, monthly retainer. Someone's going to have to pay for the hosting fees. So just the hosting, just the traffic, that's one fee. Then there's your insights, your strategy, you changing things. Since you built it, if they want to change anything, they might come to you and say, hey, now I have a promotion, now I have a code, now I have a thing, I added a product, I added this thing. You can charge them either to monthly retainers so that whenever they have anything that they want to add or change or modify, they come to you and you give them 2 hours a month, plenty. That gives you passive income, basically, because now you're getting paid. And if anything happens, you spend 2 hours. If nothing happened, great, you have the money coming in. So you have setup fee, retainer fees, hosting fees. We have blogging features in there that I don't think you're using yet.
Not yet, no, that's true.
Not yet. So you can charge them for blogging. And the last one, there's 2 actually things that are coming up. One is CEO reports. So all the conversations that are happening with your chatbot, the biggest value is actually in the insights that the business owner gets from those conversations. What does the clients complain about? What are they most interested in? What are they asking for? Their biggest desires. They will share everything with the chatbot because it's a chatbot and it doesn't judge them. So you get an insight into your clients' minds, what they want, what they don't want, what they wish you had, how you're operating, everything that you wish you knew about your business from your client side, way better than a survey. So these reports are extremely valuable. And if you went to any other company, TDO, Salesforce, Chatbase, you are being charged for each of these reports thousands of dollars. You can compare, you can show your customers, like, this is what it would cost if you would have done it with any of these other services. With Gnome, you get those reports automatically with your account, which means that you can turn around and say, hey, I will give you these insights for an additional $100, $200, $500 a month, depending on how many conversations they have. And that's huge value to the client because they don't have to be in the chatbot, they don't have to read any of the conversations, but they get all these insights. So you have 5 ways of actually monetizing it. Now, I don't know if you know this. We added voice, inbound and outbound voice, which means that people can actually call a number and talk to your bot. So I already set it up with Google My Business. So you can put your number as Google My Business and people will call the bot and the chatbot will have this entire conversation by voice. And if they need to text you anything, they can text you. If they have a URL that they need to text you or they need to follow up in text, they can do that. So as you're selling this, you can sell a chatbot on their website, a chatbot on a standalone website where we're hosting it for you, an additional service for text messages, an additional service for voice messages, additional service for the CEO reports, and you're getting all that included in that one fee with Noem. So no add-ons, no anything that you need to add complicating things. It's all built in. So that's a fantastic way to monetize, especially for the holidays. Someone can call a number, and if Noem cannot answer that question, they will forward it to our human. So you can have Ring Central or something like that, or your own phone number, and it can try to solve the problem. If it can't, forward it to customer support. That cuts down on tons of customer support, tons of employee books or policies or all that stuff, because the bot knows exactly what you told it to say, and it's always on brand. So it solves a bunch of the problems like that. Before we move to the Q&A part, you built the chatbots yourselves. Now we have a service where we will build it for you, meaning for $250, you sell your client €1,000, you come to us and you say, I don't want to touch anything, you build it for me. We will have 3 calls with the client, find out exactly what they want. We'll go and build it. We'll go show it to them, say anything, you want to change anything? If they say yes, we go change it, have another meeting, everything cool, we send it to you. So right now you don't even have to mess with the code or learn how to do anything or put anything in Noem. You can just forward it to us and let us build it. With that in mind, now that you know how to build chatbots and you have both experiences of building it yourself and passing on to someone as you scale, as you're thinking about your future, what do you think about that setup?
It would be amazing, definitely. So as soon as I saw that message of yours, I already started thinking who else I could sell it to, because of course it would be great to have that support option and your experience in building it. So that's definitely a great deal, definitely.
So guys, if you're watching us and you're on the fence of whether or not you should turn chatbots into cash, hopefully Adnan experience will make you feel a lot easier about this, because as you can see, he's service oriented. He's not a coder. He's there to actually help people, actually grow their business. And he found his clients from his own internal network, which is the best way to do this, because you're not pitching anyone, you're actually helping the people around you. Final words before we open it up to any question. Anyone here has any questions, just raise your hand and let me know and I'll bring you in and we can just turn this into fire chat and have a conversation with everybody. If you were like the people around you that are struggling to make ends meet, agencies that you see, SEO agency owners, ad agencies where AI is tapping into all that stuff, if you had a chance to talk to them, what would you tell them? Since you are an agency owner and you have experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I can definitely say, like I mentioned, just to summarize of what I mentioned, is it's a great additional service that you can integrate in your business as part of the overall service that you might be providing. It really helps. You really learn it very quickly. And maybe one thing you maybe forgot and that I can mention for sure is that you get very great personal service from Eva. So thanks a lot in setting that up. So that's an invaluable support in that whole package that you would get for $250. It's a great product on its own, and it's a great enhancement for whatever you might be doing at the moment. And it's really easy. And once you start playing around with it or starting to have conversations with people, you automatically see how it can fit in anywhere where it's required. Yeah. So you find those gaps to fill it.
A lot of people that I speak to, they seem to be stuck in the mindset of, I don't need chatbots because I don't need FAQs. I already have emails. Since you're actively promoting this, how are you overcoming that objection?
That is actually a very good question, because I just had this conversation with a client who runs a hotel, and he told me that he doesn't want a chatbot because he gets annoyed by the recurring questions and answers, just that you mentioned with the trees and stuff like that. And I told him it's not that, and it actually answers your question. And he was like, he wasn't sure how, but then again, I could show it with the screenshots, and it at least got him thinking that it might be something different, because running a hotel, he gets always the same questions. Is that room available? And how can I come in earlier and leave later and stuff like that? Yourself, probably from holiday planning. And the best way for me to overcome has really been to just simply show it. Just to say that it's not what you think, because we all have our chatbot experiences, and most of them are tied to negative recurring cycles where you don't get what you want and then you give up. And my experience so far with noem has been that it's exactly not that. It really digs into your answer if you have prepared it well, and that's really great.
I love that, because I think this is the hardest thing for people to wrap their mind around, right? It's, I need a human, because they don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have an experience with them and you go, oh, wow, I don't need a human. Actually, I want to talk to you. So that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for being so generous with sharing the entire process so transparently.
Terrible. You're welcome.
Kirk, go for it.
Hello, Aoife.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for setting this up. It's been really useful, and well done, Adnan, to your first 2 clients. So that's really good. And thank you for sharing everything this evening. Really good. Yeah, so from my side, very similar story to Adnan as well. I've obviously had my digital agency for 17 years. I've seen over the time it's becoming harder and harder we're very big in the social media space, but as more and more businesses have millennials working for them, they're embracing AI, and it's getting a lot harder to get accounts on board. About a year ago, I started deep diving into AI and wanted to just add another product that we can offer to all of our clients and that kind of thing. So my vertical is very much in the hotel space, as you've been helping me and working, and I'll back that up. Your support is excellent, so thank you so much. But yeah, we've got our first chatbot up and ready to go. I'm just literally, as I told you, waiting to present it to the general manager. It's for one of the Hilton hotels. So like, I'm big in the Hilton space in the UK. I've got a lot of hotel and hospitality resorts and that kind of thing in South Africa as well. So hopefully I'll get it into there as well. And then my brother, who's in Cape Town in South Africa, has his new Shopify site coming up at the end of the week for his bed business. So that'll be a nice thing to also work with, similar to what Adnan's saying, in a more of a product space, where we can put the URL and it's going to learn everything about it. Just incidentally, obviously, I've been playing around with it for a month now and like really love it as well. It's just so intelligent, clever. It's just fantastic. So it's literally just getting it out into launch now. I think in the hotel space, which is obviously where we play, it's going to be a massive useful tool as a concierge. That's how we want to position it. So obviously with hotels, you've got high staff turnover as well. So you've always got different staff with different answers and different levels of knowledge. So to have an AI agent or super smart bot or super smart chatbot, whatever you want to call it, I think I switched between smart chatbot and smart agent. Okay, I'm playing around with trying to get the right kind of word over, just to take it away from being that regular chatbot that's just literally an FAQ, question answers kind of vibe. Exactly what Adnan was saying. Everything Adnan said actually resonates, because I feel exactly the same pain with all of our clients. But yeah, so I think it's going to work really well from that sense, just that even the staff will be able to access it and learn from its knowledge base. It'll always give the right answer. It'll always be on point, as we've trained it to upsell. So unlike a human, everything you ask it will always finish with an upsell. So it'll upsell drinks, upsell food. If you ask it about the restaurants, it's going to suggest one of the dishes for you. We've built in the events, so it literally goes and accesses their Eventbrite link so that it can pull the events that the hotel's having. So we've got some great stuff built in there. I'm just like itching to get it presented now. I think my learning or coming into this evening was just to look at how the pricing, Adnan's pricing mechanism and structure, how he did that. And look, I see that we've got some great revenue channels here that we can use. I also identified that I think that the reports, everything that we do, always, obviously, all of our products that we have, our digital cards, all the rest of it have got like bulletproof analytics and reporting, and that's what clients pay for. They need to know that information. So I think having this to be able to look in, see what was asked, I think that's so valuable for the management companies of the hotels, the general managers, just to know what's being asked and to obviously train it to give better answers and that kind of thing. So I think that's going to be an absolute winner, very valuable from that sense, from the reports. My sticky part on this is pricing, because in a hotel environment, and certainly one of a Hilton, there's going to be a lot of conversations, because we have, you already know our other product, Aoife, and there's a QR code in every single room where they access the menus. I just know that when I look at our current statistics on our mechanism now, I can imagine that the conversations that take place on the bot are going to be huge. So my worry is the cost conversation tokens. It's going to be so interesting to see that Adnan has positioned it where it's a little bit loose at the moment, like a pilot project. So we'll pilot it and keep an eye on how many conversations are going on and how that kind of thing. I'm going to have to just very carefully try and cover that, because I just don't know at the moment what it could have 7,000 conversations in 1 week. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
To ease your mind, we are working with enterprise clients that are having 1,800 conversations a day.
Yeah.
So we handle that traffic well. There's no problem.
Yeah. So I think certainly like for my brother's business, for his bed shop in Cape Town, I think I can confidently say that will start off quite low. I don't think it's going to have huge, but something that we already have running in the Hilton that's getting a lot of traffic. This now adds another element where people are definitely going to access this to ask questions, because there's so much they can ask on there that they can't get on our normal product without looking at PDFs and all sorts of things. This you can literally ask. I think another great thing is what you mentioned there. I know you did speak to me about it before, but is linking it in with the inbound, outbound calls. I think that's going to be fantastic, because I didn't, as for certain reasons, I didn't want it mailing my customer. It would have had to mail me, and I would have to be the in-between of mailing it out and being that in-between. But having it directly phone that'll work quite well. Early days, let's see how it goes. I'm just going to keep working with it and get it out there. I'm quietly confident that my first one will be a sale. I've just got to position it right on a pricing aspect, and then also not kill myself, be open, kind of position it that they understand that if there's a huge amount of conversations, they've got to pay more. You know what I mean? That's
totally.
The pricing side of it is my only concern. I think everything else at the moment is on point. But
so let me ease your mind. A few things. One, we do have agency pricing. So as big agencies, we have internal conversations, we have bulk pricing, right?
Yeah.
So if you get to like huge, but even 1,800 conversations a day are not going to break your bank.
Yeah.
That plus the fact that you can now reduce the amount of humans that you need. So you're saving on headcounts, you're saving on training, you're saving on hiring, you're saving on shifts, right? 3 people a day, speaking all languages in all time of time. You're saving on all that stuff. And you're replacing it with maybe 2 employees that are monitoring the AI and supporting the AI and actually making it better. That's huge cost savings. So we're working with agencies that are going like, you know what, let's wipe everything that we have and let's just put this in place because it's going to save us so much. My WhatsApp is open. My door is open.
It will be that conversation, because I totally appreciate and respect where Adnan has started, and that's great. And I think to get that retainer on board monthly is fantastic for a new account straight off. But I think there's going to be different verticals that are going to literally perform completely differently to others. Like I said, I think if I had to charge around that figure to my brother, he'd be up for that. But I think a Hilton, we would just blitz through that in seconds. And obviously there's still my fee of constantly having to maintain it, look after it, learning all the time, teaching it, adding, there's that fee, and then the conversation fee. I think, but look, it's totally doable. I think it's a fantastic product to add to my portfolio in my business for all the clients that we have. And I think some will see it. Yeah, I mean, it's versatile. It can either be on a page, it can be literally standalone. We can HTML add it to their website. We can add it to our product offering. I think it could just be a QR code on the back of a hotel door that literally just opens the chatbot straight away. It doesn't even have to be on a website. Right. I think there's just a lot of applications for it. And it's literally as much as you can think to yourself how you can make it work and how it's going to, exactly like Adnan says, fix pain points for people. So I like it that it can be a chatbot, it can be an agent, it can be a salesperson. There's lots of, and I think that's just the great thing with AI is it's just so versatile. And it certainly beats having to start from scratch and try and program an agent yourself on chatbots, on ChatGPT. This is all done for you with the coding and all the rest of it. So it's super easy. Anyone new in the room that hasn't spent time, like I say, I've only spent a month with it. It's probably similar kind of time that Adnan spent. I've gone that slower route, and it's just literally on the vertical. I've got to position it so well first to present, whereas Adnan just thought, balls to the walls, let's go and do this, get it done, which is great, which I love as well. And I think I also would have done that with a smaller client, but I just can't do it with a Hilton.
Just wanted to say that, yeah, like I wouldn't have done it that way with Hilton, of course. Yeah, definitely.
But, well done. I think that's first class. And I think what you did there, it just shows how easy it is to get a client, because when they see this in action. So just to give you a quick heads up, even though I haven't presented it to the GM yet, I did an AI workshop beginning of last week with another AI professional that I work with. And we pitched it and showed it to the audience, and they were blown away. And these were business owners. So they got a peek before even the GM did. So I'm quite sure that the GM, when he sees it this week, is going to be blown away by it and what it can do. And obviously, it's just showing and proving all those points, because they wouldn't be thinking about the points of how it I hate to say this, but how it replaces humans, because that isn't what I want to do. I want it to be an additional, like I say, in a hotel, the problem they have is, let's take the front desk. It's got a high staff turnover. It's got churn there. And every time someone comes in, a guest, they're going to get a different answer from a different staff member. For me, I would rather have one thing that tells you the right answer all the time, and the right tone, the right language, right everything. And even the staff can learn from their own in-hotel chatbot if they're not sure of what an answer is. You know what I'm saying?
We're actually building it internally for CS teams as well.
Yeah.
Because one of the hardest thing is big companies, they don't have the time, and so they have shadowing. So someone new comes in and then they shadow someone else.
Yeah.
When you shadow someone else, it's whatever they think the answer is. It's not the actual answer that the CEO wants you to say. So now we're building a chatbot that will just be like, someone new comes in, so, I don't know what the answer to that is. The chatbot gives the exact answer to everybody all the time. So everybody's on the same page. So what's nice about it, as you think about it, you look at your network and you go, okay, who can I help? I can help business owners who want to sell more, who want to provide better support, but I can also help organizations that need internal help, right? Have a chatbot that gets everybody on the same page,
exactly,
without
like a training.
me having to train everybody all the time, right?
Yeah.
And what's nice about that one is that it doesn't cost you much to maintain it.
I mean, there's really simple things. And I'll tell you now, I can go into that hotel tomorrow and I can ask about parking. And the people on the front desk won't know about the parking charges in the car park that the chatbot will. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is when I talk in the hotels, in the corporate hotels in the UK, you don't just have the general manager, you've got the management company before the owner. So there's this hierarchy. So I've got to be able to go to that management company and say, this is how it's going to change the ROI, is because with its upsells all the time, it's constantly upselling. So it's putting a seed in someone's head that there is a bar, and have they tried the signature cocktail called the Bulldog? It's that kind of thing. And that's what humans generally don't do, or not don't do, but they're lazy. It's not in their interest to sell it unless they were getting motivated to sell it. So I think there's a lot of advantages. If you sit and actually think about how you can change the game for your clients, it's doable on Noem. Anyway, I've hogged the mic. Let someone else speak.
No, I appreciate it. It's very interesting to see all the angles, because we all think about things differently based on the experience that we have. So Adnan did a fantastic job. He looks at his clients and he goes, okay, what do my clients need? Where do they struggle? How can I support them? And he offers a salesperson, a support sales chatbot.
Absolutely.
You're looking at the hotel going, wow, nobody knows about parking. Nobody offers any of the drinks. Nobody gets the same questions right. Let me solve that problem. Yeah. Other people here with us, any questions that you guys have? I appreciate you joining us live. I want to make sure that you guys too can turn chatbots into cash, and that we are here to support you. So if you have any questions, unmute, raise your hand, let me know.
I've already built mine. The moment I bought it, I just spent the rest of the day filling it all out. But I haven't put it up on my website yet. I need to learn to do that. But an idea that just went through my head was, because my background, of course, is financial advisors. So I can approach financial advisors, lawyers, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, anybody like that, because it comes back to that consistency of answer. So if you have a property, you have somebody go in there, they take all the photos of the property and everything like that, and you take one sheet and feed that into the chatbot, and somebody says, I'm inquiring about this particular property. All the information is there. It's consistent the whole time. Nothing changes. But financial advisors, you're going to get interpretations on law. Lawyers, you're going to get interpretations on law. Accountants, you're going to get interpretations on law. So having that consistency all the way through, you can build one bot for 1,000 different businesses, and it's providing exactly the same information, so you have a consistency all the way through. So the one thing that just went through my mind a second ago was, if I want to talk to financial advisors, do I want to keep talking to each one? Or, because of what Kirk said, here's a QR code, hit this, go straight to a sales page that says, this is how our bot can work for you on your site.
Exactly.
So I need to get that working on my site now first.
Super easy. So let's make it real for everybody here and everybody who's watching. The first thing that you need to do is exactly what Adnan and Kirk and noem-ai just did. Identify the first problem, your first client. Who has an issue in your market, in your network right now that you know that you can go, okay, let me help you solve this problem. Once you do that, you can approach them and make sure that what their issues are, there is a need in there. Then all you have to do is come to us and go, hey, I have a client. I want to build this for you. Here's $250. I don't want to touch anything. I charge my client 1,000 euros, $1,500, whatever you want to charge them. We build it for you. You keep the difference. So it's the easiest path to monetization that I know, where you don't have to learn anything from scratch. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to have social media. You don't need to do any emails or build websites or do anything like that. In your own phone right now, you probably have 5 clients that are in need, exactly the same way you just saw these guys identify the issues in their market. Just have conversations with people and go, hey, I can solve that for you. Come to us. We build it. You sell it. That's it. If you want to keep all the money and all that, you want to do exactly what these guys have done, build it yourself, super easy. We have training for that. It takes less than an hour, like you saw. You can get the Chrome extension. It's built right into noem. You can showcase what it would look like on their website. When they decide to take it to 100%, they pay you. So exactly the same path that Adnan just did. Here's 30%. Here's what it's going to look like on your website. You want me to continue? Here's my pricing. So if you guys have any questions about any of that stuff, if you want to do it yourself, if you want us to do it for you, you have my email, you have my information, reach out. We'll support you in any path that you want. But really, my biggest call to everyone here, AI doesn't have to replace you. You don't have to go broke because AI is right here. We can actually turn to what humans do. And what humans do is talk to each other and support each other and help each other grow. And if you come in from that type of mentality of how can I service people, you can totally make a lot of money from this gap of AI age. A little caveat. Right now, everybody's overwhelmed with AI. Everybody's thinking chatbots are like this glorified FAQ and they don't need them. We have about 12 to 18 months of this, I don't know what's going to happen. And then everybody's going to have chatbots and everybody's going to expect everybody to have them and talk to them and not wait for a human to answer a call. So if you actually want to monetize this and turn it into another income and turn it into a business, I suggest you join us. Are you going to share the details on how to reach out to you? Yes, my email, put it in the chat. If you're not here with us today, find us at noem.ai. And again, Adnan, thank you so much for being so generous and transparent. Thank you, Kirk, for showing up. noem-ai, I know it's super early for you. We try to make it like a good time for everybody. Everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. I appreciate you. Follow up if you have any questions or anything like that. We're here to support you, and have a fantastic weekend.